of our respondents to this poll said that democracy was a big factor in how they voted in the 2022 elections. But the good news was that there were a lot of common sense solutions, many of which the Secretary has been promoting, both in Michigan and around the country through our working group, that had broad bipartisan support. Things like same-day voter registration, things like protecting poll workers by increasing penalties for people who threaten poll workers or threaten voters. So I'm excited to hear the Secretary next week and to talk with people around the country about some of those things we can do to protect democracy.
Sure. Madam Secretary, Debbie mentioned one thing about increasing the penalties if people feel as though they've been intimidated in any way, shape, or form with voting. What would you like to see enacted to make it so that people are afraid to even mess with people with voting?
Well, I think we have to be very clear that anyone trying to undo democracy through intimidating the people who make democracy work, our poll workers, our clerks, won't succeed. And they'll face stiff penalties if they do, if they intentionally threaten or harass election workers or try to otherwise interfere with the process through misinformation and other things. So by increasing the penalties, making it a felony to threaten or harass an election worker or a poll worker or a clerk is one of the things we're working with the legislature to get through, and also protecting our voters. No one should feel their safety is in any way threatened when they go to cast their ballot in any election. So making sure workers and voters are protected at the polls is a top priority for us right now.
All right, we need to take a quick little break. We'll come back with more questions right after this. Let me ask a question, and I want both of you to answer from your different perspectives. Back in the Great Depression, President Roosevelt came up with his New Deal, 100 days, put all sorts of policies into place. Everybody's going to think back to that the second they hear the New Deal. I know a lot of time has passed between then and now, but how is this similar and how is it different?
Well, the essence of the New Deal from back in the day is this idea that we all have a responsibility to make our country better, to, in that case, rebuild a country following a world war. In the same way, we all have a responsibility today to be a part of defending and protecting our democracy if it's going to thrive into the future, which I know we're all committed to ensuring happens. So it's a New Deal to bring people together, to recognize that we're all in this together, we're all connected, and in that way we all have to work together to protect our democracy, and in that way protect every citizen's fundamental rights and freedoms.
Ms. Bolton, same question.
Yeah, I loved the Secretary's answer. And I think I would just add that, I think that part of what the old New Deal was about was that government can do good things. And I think we've gotten away from that a little bit in our country. We seem to tend to talk too much about government being the problem or the enemy. And that's just not my perspective working with state and local leaders, exceptional state and local leaders across the country. Government can't solve every problem, but government has a really important role to play. And so I'm excited to be talking this week about the good things the government is doing. This is a historic time, as the Secretary was talking about, rebuilding post-World War II. We're rebuilding post-COVID, and there's a massive influx of federal dollars coming to states and localities to invest in America so that we can rebuild post-COVID. And that money is doing amazing things on the ground, having impact on real people's lives. And that's what we'll be talking about at the New Deal Conference.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier the poll, and I want to just drill down on that a little bit. This recent poll that you put out that was by Mercury Analytics, I think you did the polling between May 1st and May 5th. 63% of democracy, people say that democracy is a big factor in getting them to the polls. And it was very similar when you looked at Michigan, and then 77% believe that as the Secretary just said, that there should be penalties for threatening or intimidating voters, when they go to the polls. And I think it was something like 76% of Michiganders believe the same thing. How, as we head into an election, how are you going to use those numbers to buttress what it is you and others are trying to do?
Yeah, well, a couple of things. I think that's absolutely right. I was really surprised, to be honest with you, how across party lines, across age, these democracy issues are still so resonant and so top of mind for people. So I think that, that points to a couple of things. One is we just need to keep talking about it. people, and then again, as you're saying, and you talked about earlier, there was really a lot of common ground around solutions, which was really heartening from my perspective. So talking about the penalties, we were talking about earlier, increasing penalties for threatening poll workers and voters, but also just generally making it easier to vote, that same day registration, potentially expanding hours for poll locations and number of poll locations. There's really a lot of synergy across all of these categories of people who want to make sure that that voting is accessible, and that was really heartening to me.
Yeah, Madam Secretary, American Rescue money is sort of on trial here. Boatload of money came into this state and other states. What is it you feel you have to prove to the public between, especially now and the next election year, so that they will say our money wasn't wasted? And because we know that that's not going to happen again anytime soon, at least we don't think it will happen anytime soon, that amount of money coming into the system.
I think it's important to be transparent about the money that came in and how it was spent, and then also be very clear about what the return on the investment was or will be for the citizens of Michigan. I know in our office, in the Department of State, we've worked hard and have completely transformed our branch offices to make sure that they're working better for everyone all across the state. No more long lines, complete efficiency. And so really across the board, voters can ask their elected officials, what have you done with those funds? Do that research and then identify the return on investment. I know a lot of us as leaders at the state and local level have been working to make sure that information is available, do so in a transparent way, and also be clear to citizens why investments were made the way they were to help people drive on safer roads, have more safety everywhere else in our state, and also ensure that we have access to clean water and clean air and everything else that we need to invest in for our future.
Okay, we need to take a quick little break. Hoping that you're going to be able to stay with us just for a couple more minutes because I know you're on a tight schedule here, and we'll come right back with both of them right after this. I keep hearing, and both of you may want to weigh in on this, but that when this next election comes, it probably will come down to Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, maybe having the final say-so in who becomes the next president. Why is the Midwest turning out to be such an important part of these elections? And what we sometimes they call us a purple state. Right now they're calling us a blue state, but we have certainly been a red state before for a significant period of time.
Yeah, well, it's a great question. I'm sure that the Secretary, having one statewide, will have something to say about that. But from an outside perspective, these are swing. As you said, these are historically swing states. These are states where the people who can, in my estimation, present a kind of common sense solution where that resonate with those folks are going to be able to be successful. So, for example, the 2022 election, it looked to me like Democrats had an agenda that was really focused on the issues that people care about, kitchen table issues, some of the issues that the Secretary was talking about, infrastructure, roads, jobs, and that was what people wanted to hear. Contrasting with a more extreme slate of candidates who were talking about, election denialism and other more extreme choice issue, obviously, was a big thing in Michigan this time around. And so, I think that if whichever party can stay closer to that kind of middle common sense solutions, actually delivering results, I think is going to be the most exciting. That's what's it's going to come down to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, red, blue, purple, and the bottom line is Michigan is a state that is full of diverse perspectives and really unique histories, from the Upper Peninsula, where I spend a lot of time, to the west side of the state in Grand Rapids, to the history and uniqueness of Flint, to Detroit, and everywhere in between. And that's something that makes us, in many ways, a microcosm for America, with our diverse perspectives and our opportunity to truly build a coalition, a broad-based coalition of support for people-driven policies that protect everyone's rights and freedoms. And so in that way, we welcome the national spotlight. We recognize that it's because of what we represent historically and the way in which we are a microcosm for America today. We're also prepared for what that spotlight means, which is just as we saw in 2020. 2020. The pressure on our democracy will be back in 24 for Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. And we're preparing to ensure our elections remain accessible and secure and able to withstand all the misinformation that we're preparing to block coming into our state in the months ahead.
This is a long overdue step, and it proves that when we keep fighting to protect everyone's ability to make their own decisions about their bodies, we can win. During the conversation around these laws, I was asked often about this trigger law, and I had to explain, no. This is not a trigger law. This is a zombie law. This predates Roe and is at threat of coming back to haunt us all.
We did this work together. The students who made their voices heard. Today we're taking common sense gun action to reduce violence and save lives. Right now, only pistols require a background check to purchase, but long guns and shotguns do not. That doesn't make any sense. We don't have to live like this, and today we are showing we are not going to anymore. We've made a lot of progress in 100 days. Guess what? Buckle up. We're going to continue this work.
The executive leadership of this state, all Democrats, all female, and you've been dealing with some hot button issues, whether it's gun control, it's gay rights, it's you name it.
Yeah.
There've been so many.
I think we're also all,
right to work.
Yes, we're all friends at the executive level, and we are all a team. We don't always agree, but we always work together in the common good and out of good faith, and that's how we get things done. And the bottom line is we want our state to be safe. We want it to be safe for everyone, inclusive of everyone, and one in which everyone's voices and votes are protected. And so from that, we want safe schools. We want roads that are safe for driving, water that is safe for drinking. And we want people to be protected no matter where they live, no matter even what political persuasion they may be, because we're all in this together.
So you're convinced that the issues that you're touching on are the issues that the electorate cares about the most,
Yes.
Without a doubt, even if it's something involved like hands-free driving,
Yeah.
which is in the news right now.
It is, yeah, and I actually was meeting with folks in the state Senate yesterday about that provision and how we can work to make sure everyone has the tools they need to meet those legal requirements, and whether it's as State Senator Erica Geis suggested, maybe having something that drivers can get to display their phone or in other ways enable hands-free driving. We want to help make it safer and easy for everyone to drive on the roads and also respect everyone else's space. So we're developing a lot of common sense solutions that are supported by the majority of people of Michigan, which I think also reflects the victories that we've experienced in 2018, 2020, and 2022.
All right, when Spotlight returns, I'll ask the Secretary to comment on former President Trump's latest comments about the January 6th attackers. We'll be right back. I want to get you to weigh in on how much women are driving the Democratic Party in particular, and driving politics and policies in this country in general, even if you're not a Democrat. Certainly the abortion issue played a major role in the last presidential election and the state elections.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely right. It's so fun to see, the amazing, strong women in Michigan leading your state, but across the country, the numbers of women who are running and getting elected is increasing. I think that's good for all of us. Again, to your point, no matter what party they